Welcome to the deep dive. When we talk about shaving strokes off a golf score, everyone's mind goes to the big swing.
Oh, absolutely. The 300-yard drive, the perfect iron shot.
But if you're really serious about your scorecard, the leverage, it's all in the putting.
It's the huge paradox in golf. I mean, our sources are clear on this. You'll use your driver maybe, 14 times around, but your putter, you're looking at 30, 35, sometimes 40 strokes.
It's the most used club in the bag by a mile.
By a mile. And yet we see so many players they pick one up in a shop, roll a few on the carpet, and choose it because they like the color, not because it fits their mechanics.
And that is exactly why we're here today. Our mission for this deep dive is to give you a real tactical advantage. We're going to break down the science of putter design. We're focusing on two things that are, they're often overlooked, but they dictate everything. The shape of the head, and maybe more critically, the hosel, the little bent pipe connecting the shaft.
Think of it like this. We're decoding the putter's secret language, the head shape. That's mostly about stability and how you see the line, the size of the sweet spot, basically.
Right.
But the hosel architecture, that's the hidden engine. It's the gearbox that controls the whole relationship between your hands, the club face, and how it needs to rotate during your stroke.
Okay, so let's start with the head itself. There's this classic trade-off you always hear about, feel versus forgiveness.
Right, and when we talk about that, we're really talking about something called moment of inertia, or MOI.
MOI. The term gets thrown around a lot.
Yeah.
What does it actually mean for the golfer?
It's just a measure of how much the club head resists twisting when you don't hit the ball dead center. It's simple physics, really. The bigger the head, and especially when you push the weight out to the edges.
To the perimeter.
Exactly, to the perimeter, the higher the MOI. And the higher the MOI, the more stable that face stays on a mishit.
But there's a catch, isn't there? It seems like the more stable the putter is, the less you can actually feel the strike.
That's the inverse relationship right there. Really experienced player, a feel player, they love that immediate, crisp feedback in their hands.
Yeah.
And that feeling, it often gets muffled by all that perimeter weighting, which is why, the traditionalist's choice is still around. The blade putter.
The classic, narrow, compact, beautiful-looking club.
They give you incredible feedback. They're really built for players with what we call arcing strokes. So the putter face opens a bit on the way back and closes through impact.
And the drawback.
Low MOI. If you miss that sweet spot by even 1/4 of an inch, the face is going to twist, and you lose speed, you lose your line. They demand you find the center.
Okay, so if you're like me and precision isn't always your strong suit, you go to the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
The giant stabilizer, the mallet putter.
Mallets are the modern answer to inconsistency. They're large. They're sometimes, they're geometrically complex looking.
Like little spaceships.
Kind of, yeah. And the whole design is about maximizing that MOI to reduce twisting. Our sources show they're perfect for players with a straight back, straight through stroke. That stability just promotes a really consistent launch, gets the ball rolling true right away.
And visually, they're a huge help, right? They've got all these lines and frames and contrasting colors.
Absolutely. That visual guidance is half the battle. If you can't aim the thing straight to begin with, all the stability in the world won't matter.
Right.
And then, sitting right between those two, between the blade and the mallet, you've got the mid-mallets.
The compromise.
The compromise, yeah. A blend. They give you a little more MOI than a blade, so a bit more forgiveness. But they're not so big that you lose all the feel. They're often a great fit for golfers with just a slight arc.
And then you have the extremes. For the player who just needs the club to be foolproof. I'm thinking of things like the spider designs, the jailbirds.
The super high MOI mallets.
Yeah.
Those things use the most extreme perimeter weighting possible. They push the center of gravity as far back and away from the face as they can. The goal is pure consistency, nothing else. If your stroke is a little shaky, the club is designed to compensate for you.
Okay, so we've got the stability part down with MOI. But stability doesn't mean much if the face isn't square when it hits the ball. And that rotational part, that's all governed by the piece of the putter nobody thinks about, the hosel.
This is where the engineering gets really interesting. The hosel is just that connection point, the stem that joins the shaft to the head. But it is the absolute dictator of 4 key things. Offset, so how far ahead of the face your hands are, shaft lean, face rotation, and the most crucial one, toe hang.
Let's define toe hang, because that seems to be the concept that unlocks which hosel is right for you.
It's actually really simple. If you just balance the shaft horizontally on your finger and let the head hang down the way the face orients itself, That's the toe hang.
So if the face points straight up at the sky.
That's no toe hang. We call that face balanced. If the toe of the putter drops and points down toward the ground, that has high toe hang.
And that matters because it relates to the club's center of gravity.
Exactly. When you make a stroke, a face-balanced putter naturally wants to resist rotation. It wants to stay square.
Perfect for a straight back, straight through stroke.
Perfect. On the other hand, a putter with high toe hang naturally wants to open and close. It encourages rotation, which perfectly matches the needs of an arcing stroke. You have to match the tool to the task.
This is a huge distinction. Okay, so let's contrast the big ones. We'll start with the classic, the one you see everywhere, the plumber's neck.
The plumber's neck is that iconic L-shaped bend. It's kind of the Goldilocks of hosels. It has moderate offset and moderate toe hang.
So it's for the slight arc player.
Exactly. It's perfect for a sleigh arc. And that moderate offset is really important because it helps you get your hands slightly ahead of the ball. It promotes a little forward shaft lean, which helps you strike up on the ball and avoid scooping it.
It's the standard for a reason. But what if I am that straight back, straight through player? I want to get rid of rotation completely.
Then you want the double bend hosel. It's engineered for zero rotation. The shaft has these two little bends and goes right into the head in a way that makes it completely face balanced, no toe hang at all.
So super consistent under pressure.
Incredibly. You don't have to worry about timing the face closing. You rock your shoulders.
But I wonder, for someone who likes feel, does it almost feel too stable? Like you're just pushing a brick on a stick?
That's the trade-off. Some players call it wooden or rigid. It's incredibly efficient, but it does take away some of that tactile connection. If you value stability over everything, it's brilliant.
Okay, now for the opposite. The player with a big arc. They need a hosel that works with their hands, not against them.
Yeah.
That brings us to the slant neck.
Or a flow neck, yeah. This is the rotational specialist. It's a short, angled neck. It has very little offset, and it generates high toe hang. It is explicitly designed to flow with a strong arc stroke.
It encourages that feeling of the face releasing.
Absolutely. It just lets the reach work naturally to square the face. And finally, let's touch on the gooseneck. It sounds a little strange, but it has a very specific job.
It's that really deep S shape, right? Maximum offset.
And that offset is all about getting your hands way ahead of the ball. It forces you into that forward shaft lean. It's designed to fix a mechanical fault specifically for players who tend to decelerate or scoop at the ball.
So we've broken it all down. Head shape manages stability.
Yeah.
The hosel manages rotation. Let's put it all together now. How do these two things interact to create the perfect putter for a specific golfer?
Right, the synergy. You have to connect the physical design back to what your brain actually sees. So let's start with visual alignment. If you struggle to aim,
If you can't see the line.
you need a high MOI mallet, big and stable, and you pair that with an offset hosel, like a plumber's or a gooseneck. That whole structure just helps your brain process the target line.
And the opposite is true too. If you're a field player who rotates the face a lot, you want a high toe hang hosel, and those usually don't have many alignment aids.
Exactly. You're relying more on your hand-eye coordination than on engineered assistance. And that feeds right into ball roll. A stable head, like a mallet, helps the ball start rolling true sooner.
And the hosel refines that.
The hosel refines it. A face balance setup minimizes any twisting at impact, while a high toe hang model, it requires and it rewards controlled rotation.
Okay, this is where we get actionable. Our sources lay out a pretty clear matching guide. It's about your stroke type and your visual needs.
Let's start with the most stable setup. For the straight back, straight through stroke. If that's you, you want maximum forgiveness, zero rotation.
So you're pairing a high MOI mallet with a double bend or a center shaft.
Yeah.
The whole point is just uncompromising face stability.
Yep. Next up, the most common player out there, the slight arc stroke. They need that balance between feel and control.
So they're in the middle. A mid mallet or even a classic blade, but combined with the moderate rotation from a plumber's neck. Balance control.
Perfect. Then we have the artists, the feel players, the strong arc stroke. They want freedom for their hands to work.
Maximum rotation. So they're looking at a traditional blade and pairing it with a slant neck or a heel shafted design to get that high toe hang they need.
Exactly. And finally, the player whose biggest issue isn't the stroke path, it's just visual aiming difficulty. They can't trust what they see.
They need all the visual help they can get. So one of those oversized mallets, spider or a jailbird, paired with either a center shaft for that perfect symmetry, or even a gooseneck to force them into a square setup.
Right.
So it's clear, choosing a putter is so much less about how it looks and so much more about picking a piece of equipment that's tuned to either fix your faults or, enhance your strengths.
It's all about mechanical self-awareness. You are choosing a tool that specifically manages rotation and stability in a way that works with your hands and your eyes,
Not against them.
not against them. That interaction is everything. It's not just a stick with a lump of metal on the end. It's an engineered solution to the hardest part of the game.
So here's the final thought to take with you to the practice green. Our sources really stress this. Aim starts with your setup. You have to choose a putter that matches how your brain naturally sees a straight line. So take a hard look at your current putter. Look at its Hosel. Is its toe hang supporting your natural stroke path? Or is it fundamentally fighting you on every single putt?